Hi, everyone. Welcome to 111 Eastern Time on Thursday. I'm still trying to get the gist of being here every Thursday at this time. And the dynamic is a little different just because my husband's out of the country and my son is home. But nevertheless, it works out perfect. And it's nice the changes, the dynamics of change, right? So today, we are going to be reading a little bit from the Course in Miracles, and I use the third. This is the Foundation for Inner Peace edition, and I think it's the third edition. And this is my go-to book. Well, this is the book that I found in 1995. So, I mean, not this one particularly. This one was given to me later by actually Judith Scutch as a gift. Oh, real cute little note from her. I don't know if you guys, if I've shown you this. Well, that's my Jesus picture. But um, she wrote to Rev Maria-Felipe with great appreciation for bringing A Course in Miracles to the world. We all love you, Judy Winston, along with Helen, Bill, and Ken in spirit. That was a beautiful gift from Judy. And this is my second Course in Miracles book because my original book is like totally broken. It's very, very broken. I actually need to gift it to somebody, even though because it has such good energy. All right, so I just lost the page I was going to read from, which is all good. So here I found it. I'm going to read from page 15, and this is from Distortions of Miracle Impulses. And it says, Child of God, you were created to create the good, the holy, and the beautiful. Do not forget this. The love of God for a little while must still be expressed through one body to another because vision is still so dim. You can use your body best to help you enlarge your perception so you can achieve real vision, of which the physical eye is incapable. Learning to do this is the body's only true usefulness. So we were created to extend the good, the holy, and the beautiful. And um, we are that. It's not something that's coming. It's not something that's going to happen. It's not something that's going to happen later. It's something that exists right now, that we are the good, we are the holy, we are the beautiful. And the more that we recognize this and come into this, which is the reason for these channelings, is just to remind ourselves of our true nature, to flourish within the thoughts of the right mind, the thoughts of love, the thoughts of the Holy Spirit, the thoughts of of the right mind. And and that helps us to begin to have an understanding that there's just so much more than this body, and the understanding that we're not an ego, that we're not our limited beliefs, we're not our scarcity thinking, we're not that little self that we believe ourselves to be, which is totally fine. It comes from an innocent place, and also the arrogance of wanting to do it better than God, to play a different game. um but the course is just telling us, it says right here, it says that we can use the body best to enlarge your perception so you can achieve real vision, of which the physical eye is incapable. So Jesus is saying here, you might, right now, you need to use your body because, the belief in God and the belief in me is scarce, right? So we can use our body by the understanding that we're not a body, and within it, like right now, I'm using my body to sit here, to express, to um, play around with whatever creativity I have going on right now with these channelings on Thursdays, and the openness of where it's going to take me, and allowing my body to go with me. Um, But the belief that I am only a body, the belief that you're only a body, the belief that we're all bodies is very limiting. It's just, how can this all be? I remember when I was in school and I was studying broadcasting, and I was doing an internship at a local news station. And I remember going out to my first story as an intern, and I saw this big man. He was an African American man. He got hit by a bike, on his bike and on his motorcycle, and he was on the floor, and he was dead, dead in the sense of the body was dead. And at that moment, it was the very first time that I actually understood that we're not a body. That was my very first time when I saw that body. It was like he was like at least more than 6 feet tall. He weighed. He was a big guy, not in big. He was like big, like bodybuilder big, and just lifeless. And that's when I said to myself, wow, the body cannot be real. Like, this cannot be the only thing that there is. Like, it was so meaningless. There was nothing there. The body was lifeless. And I was thinking, wow, where did that soul go? I remember thinking that, what is this? Right? And that's when that's the moment it hit me. And of course, my spiritual evolution has grown after that. But that was the first time, because in life, guys, it's like these little golden nuggets, and we start to learn, and we start to put these pieces of the puzzle together. We get all this you know beautiful clues from spirit, because we're waking up gently. So we use the body as an instrument of love. We use the body to serve. And then the body is also used for destruction in this world of duality. The body is also used for separation. But and that's okay. It's part of the duality, although we need to bring in awareness and presence to that part of us, to that experience of us, to be aware that we're using the body in a way that is destructive. And especially when it comes to sadness. And I actually want to talk about this today, just because I've been feeling a little bit melancholy. And there's been like this narrative, or a little bit of a narrative. It's like, what, it felt like I have like this like sad cloud on top of my head for some reason. It's just like this cloud is on top of my head. And I asked spirit, how can I get this cloud from on top of my head? So how many of you feel sometimes that you have like this cloud of sadness in the top of your head, and you don't know how to get rid of it? Like, there's just this sadness, this despair, this, I can't handle life, or life is too hard, or it's too difficult, I can't get through it. And and the reason I'm saying this is because I feel that when we attend to our questioning of the sadness, the questioning of of it all, there begins to be a awakening to it, of where we release the judgment of whatever it is, that of that emotion. And it's been it's been so beautiful to experience myself in with that cloud, and to have awareness within the sadness. So there's an awareness that I catch myself when I'm believing I'm sad, or there's awareness when I'm thinking there's something wrong here, I shouldn't be feeling this way, this sadness. there's a there's an awareness there that I stop myself, and I'm like, and I let go of the judgment of the sadness. Like, what if being or feeling sadness is nothing wrong with that? And obviously there's nothing wrong with it, because it's the way that I'm feeling. Like, why am I trying to feel any other way than what I'm feeling? So there's a call for humility, there's a call for grace, there's a call for gentleness, right? So today, being that I'm going through a little funky funk, how many of you are going through a little funky funk of sadness sometimes? Maybe you're not, and that's good too. Enjoy the live anyways. Take what you can, right? So overcoming this sadness, um, which is part of being in the body and and appearing to be separate. When we let go of the judgment of it, and just for me at least, to observe it and stop myself and say, there is nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with the melancholy. There's nothing wrong with the cloud over my head. It's perfect. The sadness is perfect. There's nothing wrong here, right? There's this quick judgment like, oh, she's sad, or he's not supposed to be sad, or I'm not supposed to be sad. There's this quick judgment of that sadness is bad. And what the course is bringing us back to is to neutralize things, to make things neutral, to forgive them, which means release of judgment. So I already have an understanding of how to deal with my sadness, which is how to be in it, in a way that is helpful. But I wanted to play a little bit with you guys today with the channeling of overcoming sadness. Like, spirit, how how can we overcome sadness? Well, first off, my dear sweetheart, you are not that sadness. We are not that sadness. Even though it appears that we are wallowing in some sort of energy level of what we call in the world have labeled as sadness. If we're able to collectively see or experience the sadness and relate it like we would relate to a tree, or if we would relate to sadness to how we would relate to looking at the sunset or the sky, it's it's not seeing it as something opposite. It's seeing it for what it is, which is neutrality. We've been taught by society, which is coming to me, that sadness is wrong. It's bad. It's not appropriate, or is appropriate, or it's bad. It's not a good place to be. And how about what you've been contemplating, what we can contemplate, which is, what if there's nothing wrong here? What if your sadness was bringing you great advancements? What if your sadness was a blessing, is a blessing? And what if the sadness in that cloud is the best thing ever? What if you judged it that way? There's nothing wrong here. I love you. I appreciate you. I know you. And give yourself some grace. We're all making great advancements within the love of God, even though it appears that we're stumbling, even though it appears that we're stuck, even though it appears that This is not supposed to be this way. I'm not supposed to feel this way. You can. And you are. And it's good. It's so good. The release of judgment of everything, of just seeing it for what it is, without the veil of illusion, without the thoughts of this and that and that and this, you're free. You are sad. Good. You are not sad? You're not? Good. That's true forgiveness based on the Course in Miracles. So let your sadness be, and move along with me. What if the sadness you have energetically is helping you right now as much as it would help you if you're feeling happy? What if they're both equally perfect for you in this moment, whether you have one or the other? What if they were both the same? The same in the same objective underneath, which is the awakening, which is remembering your father. Because whatever is going on in at any given moment that you're giving to yourself is bringing you closer to your father, whether you know it or not. Sometimes it looks horrifying, and we judge that. We judge it. What if it's not? Let's just the opposite. Like, what if what I'm thinking about sadness isn't true? And what if me feeling sad, there's nothing wrong with that? What about that? So for all of us collectively that are sad sometimes, that are feeling sad right now, that will feel sad in the future if you're watching this later, what if there was no judgment on your sadness? What if it was okay to allow yourself to be with that? And the grace and the it's like a child, like, I love you anyways. I love you anyways, even if you're feeling however you're feeling. Nothing wrong here. I'm sad, you're sad, good. I'm not sad, good. It it's it's the acceptance of that, of this moment. How you are feeling, the acceptance of that. And then that acceptance releases the judgment, and then from there you can have an awakened perspective of where you're able to experience and perceive the sadness in a different way. So you can perceive it through judgment and fear. I'm not supposed to feel this sadness. This is not good. I'm bad. I'm going to hell. I'm sinful. I've been studying the Course in Miracles for blah, blah, blah years, and I can't freaking figure this out, right? The chatter. Or you can perceive the sadness through grace. Wow, look at that. I have a sadness cloud over my head. Look at that. I'm forgetting who my father is. I'm really good at that. I give myself grace. I'm trying here. I'm learning how to wake up. I'm learning how to remember. I'm learning how to forgive. I'm learning to remember my father. Look at that. I'm sad. Good. I love you. I appreciate you. I love you, sadness. Thank you for your grace. There's nothing wrong here. So we make the choice of the teacher of where we are going to judge the sadness with. Judge it with the Holy Spirit, not with the egoic mind. The egoic mind is going to bring you down even more. It's going to make you feel guilty because you're sad, but the Holy Spirit love will allow you to just be. I understand you're sad and I love you anyways. I understand your turmoil and I love you anyways. I know that this is passing. So you might as well just be on a hammock, right? You're on the hammock and you're just enjoying the sunshine on the hammock and just enjoying life for what it is, because it is what it is. And the more that we try to change it, the more that we try to take away the sadness, the more that we judge, the more that we separate, the more that we suffer. So just chillax with your piña colada on the hammock and call it a day. When I mean call it a day, means just cheers to the moment. Cheers to this present moment. Thank you, Spirit, for this message. I'm eternally grateful for it because, again, I've been feeling a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So thank you, Spirit, for this message. Thank you for this message for all of us. I hope you found it helpful. Mwah. Till next time.